Fox News contributor Charlie Hurt. Hillary Clinton, has been a champion of some of the progressive causes, now changing her tune. I find that very interesting, especially at a time when Joe Biden's approval rating is pretty much at an all-time low, Charlie.
Yeah, no, it's pretty extraordinary listening to her talk about all of that. And I very much read that more than, a lot of people heard those comments and thought that she was talking about Donald Trump, and maybe she was, but goodness gracious, she was also talking about Joe Biden, because when she talks about I defy you to find me a single progressive or liberal or whatever you want to call it. I call it sort of wacko left-wing policy that this White House, that President Biden has not embraced. Obviously, they've had a hard time getting a lot of this stuff through for obvious reasons, but it does sound like she's sort of throwing a lot of shade, not just at progressives, but at Joe Biden, who throughout his 50-year career has sort of tried to style himself as some sort of sensible moderate. But that's obviously not how he's governed in the White House.
Yeah, it's interesting, too, because you think back to, obviously, she lost the election, but you think back to her husband, Bill Clinton, who started lefter than he was when he left office. And what he realized was that going too far left wasn't going to work for him, and he was going to seek another term. And so he came very close to the center. He had a booming economy. People loved him, despite, his personal scandals and everything else that happened. And what I think is interesting here is with Joe Biden, you wonder, he sort of campaigned as a moderate. Is he going to get the message? They knew they had a window to try to pass some of this stuff. It's not all going the way they planned. But who knows? He says he's going to run again. Who knows if he'll be healthy enough? I mean, there's so many dynamics here.
There really are. There are a lot of moving pieces, and I think that the chief among them is President Biden's health. There are a lot of, and I just can't imagine that he's going to be able to go through another arduous campaign, given the sort of things that we've seen out of him so far. But it really is amazing to, when you mention President Bill Clinton, a guy like that, a Democrat like that, an old school Democrat who believed, as you pointed out, in moderating his own behavior to sort of, and of course he was criticized at the time for being so obsessively concerned with polling. But the point of that was that he actually really cared. He wanted to be in the center. He cared what people thought. Right. Obviously, he sort of went overboard in a lot of things in that respect. But I don't think a guy like Bill Clinton could survive in today's Democrat Party. They would never elect him. He would be run out of town by the so-called progressive left-wing part of their party.
The Bernies, the Elizabeth Warrens, the AOCs of the world, I guess. And
that's where all the excitement is.
And those are the people that are, essentially pushing Joe Biden to lean as left as he is. Now, having said that, I just want to switch gears for a moment.